Hi, I'm Brian Van Norden. I'm James Monroe Taylor Chair in Philosophy at Vassar College, and I'm also a chair professor in the School of Philosophy at Wuhan University in China. And I work in the field of Chinese and comparative philosophy, and I've been doing that for about the last 40 years. A lot of my career has been about teaching people about Chinese philosophy and also trying to convince my colleagues in the discipline of philosophy to teach more about Chinese philosophy, but also to be more open minded about Africana philosophy, Indian and more broadly South Asian philosophy, other kinds of East Asian philosophy, and the philosophy of the indigenous people of the Americas. My hometown is Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which is a great little town, but it is very small. It's got about 10,000 people in it in Pennsylvania. But since then, I've given lectures and talks all over the world, and I currently live in the state of New York in the United States. So when I was asked to talk about the metaverse, to be honest with you, the first thing that occurred to me was images from science fiction movies I've seen where people are living in bunkers in some post-apocalyptic future, and the only way they can communicate with other people is through holograms or something like that. So a metaverse originally had kind of a negative connotation for me. But as I thought about it some more, I realized that there's a lot of things the metaverse can do for us. One of the things that we learned to do during COVID was to give talks and presentations and have meetings via Zoom. And so I think the metaverse is just, in a way, a natural extension of that. And there are a lot of advantages of that. I enjoy traveling around the world to see new places and meet new people, but doing that requires a lot of resources and it's got a big carbon footprint. So with the metaverse, we can learn about other cultures, learn about different philosophical systems around the world, learn how other people see the world, but in an easier, cheaper way than actually flying to some other part of the world. So the metaverse can open the world to more people and also reduce our carbon footprint. But in order for that to be successful as a way of learning about other cultures, I feel like we need certain values. First of all, we need to choose love over hate, and we need to choose patience over anger. And most of all, we need to interpret other people charitably. So talking about reading others charitably, that's kind of a little bit of a philosophical term of jargon. But when philosophers like me talking about reading others charitably, what we mean is when someone else says something, if they're acting in good faith, you should interpret them as a human being like you who sees the world in a particular way with their own values and try to understand how they see the world. Try to achieve what is sometimes called a fusion of horizons, where your perspective on the world meets their perspective on the world. You don't have to agree with them, but see if you can understand why they see the world the way they do. And who knows, maybe along the way you'll learn something about the limitations of your own perspective. Thank you very much for listening to my little talk.